Afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Novelty. Peter, Meh, Gregors. How we doing, Virginia? Another afternoon of trading. Fun. Right, just a quick recap of the morning. We had some news. The CPI figure for Canada came out as expected on the monthly, which is good. But all of the annual figures are all up. So quite a big difference if you look at the median CPI, which is kind of the average. That was up 0.3%. So basically, it's exactly what it was last time. They were forecasting a drop, and it's the same. So we're up 0.3% on the trimmed CPI as well. So all up, which is all bullish Canadian dollar. Yeah, a little bit bigger than expected. Remember, if you were here this morning, I said this figure was this morning 3.1 here. And that was a zero. So basically, the last CPI we had was flatlined, whereas everybody else's CPI looks like it's starting to bounce. The euro is bouncing. The pound is expected to bounce on the next one. The US dollar is bouncing. So the Canadian dollar is following suit. It has bounced. So CPI comes down like that. So that is normal, but possibly not what the market was expecting. So the Canadian dollar's had a nice little rally off the back of it, as you can see, but not particularly strong. So we've had a nice big move. Obviously, everything come down against the CAD. But if you look at the ADRs, they're just ADR hits. Nothing dramatic as yet. So we'll see what happens. But the it's a big spike, but nothing particularly exciting. The US dollar has come down a little bit off the back of the news as well, but it seems to have recovered. So US dollar CAD's come down fairly well. You look at things like Euro US, that's kind of a bit whippy, so not particularly exciting. But that was the news this morning and this afternoon. Other than that, not a lot else has come out of any of the meetings. So yeah, pretty much the same. We're almost into earnings fortnight as well. So we are on the 16th. Which is here. So we've got, as you can see, there's a few stocks starting to land. Goldman and Morgan Stanley have announced pre-market today. But the earnings fortnight kicks off next Tuesday with 3M, General Electric, etc., etc. So this is where the earnings reports come out, which means the stock market tends to get hugely volatile. So it is starting to trickle in with a few big names now, but next week's really when it all kicks off. This morning, good trade on the DAX. Very clean, easy break today on the DAX. So we've got this gap down situation. We haven't actually filled yet with either of the European markets. But so the DAX today, pre-market was there, so that was the range pre-market. We triggered short. It flew straight down to target on the initial cash balance, huge move, and then pulled back and triggered the trailing stop on the second entry. So both profitable. We haven't gone anywhere really. So you can see we obviously dropped down to there, and since then we've gone nowhere. Nothing. FTSE, there was no trades on the FTSE today. The pre-market range was far too small. It was less than 10% of ADR, and this was about 35% of ADR, the initial move. So, of course, it didn't have any room to go anywhere. So, again, nothing's gone on with that. We have also got a gap fill. So that's where the market closed yesterday. So we've got a little bit of upside on the European indices, but that was those this morning. So nice little profit this morning, not big. 0.5%, 0.6, but profit. US indices haven't had much movement off of the news. So we've had a bit of a pre-market rally and rejection, rally, not quite as big a rejection, but so we have had a bit of movement, but as you can see, nowhere near ADR's miles away. So there's plenty of room for movement this afternoon on the US indices. So we'll see where we go. Hopefully we'll get some volume. Half an hour after market open this afternoon, we've got Bailey speaking. So we may get a bit of volatility off the pound. He could say something. We don't know. But he is speaking this afternoon. So there could be some volatility coming in around about 3 o'clock if the pound gets some movement, but probably not going to affect the US markets very much. There's a few ADRs to look at. We've got 3 minutes to the open. So what we do is we'll, what should we do? Let's have a quick recap of what's gone on this morning. Morning, afternoon even, everybody else. Joe, Evil, Monkey, Ian, Brian, JC Fletch, Pit King, Pound Swiss. Have a look at that in a minute. Afternoon, Amy. So haven't banked anything so far today. It's been a bit of a flip-floppy day so far. There's a few new positions gone on because we've had some H1 RSI extensions, which have kind of untriggered because they've all started to pull back, like this Euro US dollar as a good example. So we had an extension, reversal alert went in there 5 minutes. We've just put a new low in. So I ought to put a target on that one, didn't I? Up into that propulsion gap. So yeah, there's been a few of those triggered. So I haven't managed to bank anything yet. There's nothing really in profit that I want to bank on the H1M5 mean reversion strategy. ADR reversals. I keep this Aussie New Zealand. Every time I look at it, I'm looking at it going, we've been going sideways for 8 hours. I just want to bank it. And it's only 0.2%. But we're bang in the middle of this range. And I don't like sitting in the middle of this range. It could just pop. And I've got a chance to bank 0.2, but it's hardly any money. So that's literally all I've had an opportunity to bank today. Everything else has just been flip-flopping around. No movement, as usual. And mean reversion of banked 0.42% today. Nothing much else worth banking at the moment. New Zealand dollar CAD, I could bank, but it's a tricky one, this, because it's retesting this low. If it breaks that low, we're going to get a little bit of a flush, which is where I'm getting out. But I'm not convinced. So that Canadian dollar news obviously is positive. So there's a good chance we will break that low, but we're going to hit limit orders at the monthly low, which is going to trigger out of this propulsion gap. So that's pretty much where I want to get out, which isn't far away. So hopefully we'll get that one hit today. And I'll be out in New Zealand dollar CAD shorts. And then obviously the long I will hedge into. So there we go. 1 minute to the open. So let's watch the open and then we'll come back and have a look at the ADRs and RSIs. Afternoon, Mumo. Here you go, sir. Smash the like button, people. When I said that this morning, we went from 6 likes to 30 likes in about 5 minutes. There's 52 people in here. I expect a minimum of 25 likes next time I look at it. Otherwise, I'm going on strike. Long on the NASDAQ, long on the Dow. Good pre-market ranges today. A little bit whippy, fair bit of volatility coming in at the moment. Novelty has liked. Checking up on you. 20. I said 25. 5 more, please. Long on the S&P. So long all 3 indices on the break. So retesting pre-market high. It's not actually the pre-market high. Pre-market high is up there, but it's the high of the news, if you like, on the Dow. That got sold into very hard there, look. We're retesting that high on the S&P as well. That's the pre-market high, which is being sold off. NASDAQ's broken out. So NASDAQ's on its way. Still only 20. I went on strike this morning. I went quiet until everybody liked, so up to you. You're going to force me to get quiet now, aren't you? Notice my voice is getting better. I think my cold is going, or whatever this weird flu virus thing is. 100-day coughing fit. Afternoon, day trader. Afternoon, Mark. This is how Raja started. Likey, $10. What? Going to get hedged on the Dow and the S&P by the looks of things. That's pulling back really hard. Still only 20. Let me just refresh that. 27. I'll let you off. That's not updating. Well done. Hedged on the Dow. So Dow, it's going to be a tricky one today, isn't it? We are right down at the lows here on the Dow. So target to the downside, we got a double weekly low coming up within ADR down there. So downside target on the Dow, I'm going for this low. So it's basically these 3 wicks here. So we pushed down, retested it, broke away. So that is the previous week's low and last week's low. So we should get some limit orders triggering off of there. We'll also be at ADR, so we should get a nice bounce out of that to be able to get out of the hedge. Upside, very tricky today. We got yesterday's high there. And then obviously last week's high all the way up there. Unlikely we're going to do 125 ADR today, but so I'm going to bring the targets down within ADR. That's probably going to be about 4.5R to the upside. Just about, yeah. So just above 4R to the upside. I'm just bringing the upside target just within ADR. And then look to get out if we get there on a pullback. But so far, it's just a massive whipsaw on the Dow look. That high there just before the news. We've just retested that low before the open. So we've literally just put in a complete whipsaw. And that's a big old range as well. So if you're trading, if you're not taking the pre-markets and you're only trading the opening range, that is 130. So that is about 4 ADR. No, it's a third of an ADR. It's over a third of an ADR. It's about 0.4 ADR. That's huge. It's going to struggle today, the Dow, I think. S&P, we've just pulled back inside that pre-market range, and the big whipsaw as well on the NASDAQ. So market absolutely no direction at the open. Not going anywhere at the minute. So we'll give that another 5 minutes and see if we can figure out where that's going. Breaking to the upside on the NASDAQ. Dow looking like it wants to break short. S&P, not a clue. We'll see where we go. So someone wants to look at pound Swiss. Pound Swiss going nowhere. Not going anywhere. So in the last week, we've put in that much movement, which is 116 pips, which is just about 2 ADR. Not going anywhere. And that's contracted, obviously. So your guess is as good as mine. Flip a coin. It's going long or short, whichever way it goes. If it goes your way, bank it. If it doesn't go your way, scale in and get out. Possible to tell with that one. Okay, NASDAQ's breaking long. S&P's not. S&P's struggling. Being dragged down by the Dow, look. I think that might struggle to go long today. Let's see. So see if we get hedged on the S&P, but downside targets today. This is obviously the pre-market low today. That low obviously is the obvious spot for a downside target, which is within ADR today. So that would be the low from Thursday last week. That Thursday was the day that we put the entire range in, wasn't it? So we'll see where we go. Upside target, much easier. We'll be looking at yesterday's high. That should easily be achievable. And ADR today is last week's high as well. So we'll see where we go. The S&P's struggling. So is the NASDAQ. This looks like a triple hedge to me. Today, we've got no upside momentum at all. Mind you, the Dow is struggling to go south as well. So I need to give that another 10 minutes or so. See where it goes. Right, so let's look at ADRs. So today, there's a few ADR hits. So I've got into, I think I've taken a position today. No, I haven't. 16th. No, I haven't taken any new positions today. Euro CAD will be my entry today. So I will be taking Euro CAD on the next 5-minute reversal alert, which is going to be there. So that's going to be my entry on Euro CAD today. If it goes there, obviously, if this Canadian dollar continues to strengthen off the back of the news of the CPI, we're going to put that sort of shape in. So when we make a new low down here, the entry will be down here somewhere, and I'll be looking for a push back up. So no reversal alert yet on the Euro CAD. We've got a nice area of support potentially coming up down here. There's loads of, that's a really good support. That we've held that area, retested it twice. Failing that, 150 ADR just beyond. Then we've got a weekly level. There's just loads of levels, isn't there? This thing's just been completely range bound since the end of November. So if it pushes down, doesn't matter how far it pushes down, we'll get a pullback if it's going to drop. So see. Afternoon, Crom. So EuroCAD, that's the biggest extension so far today. It is starting to look like it wants to pull back, but we'll probably get some Canadian strength coming through. The other extensions we've got obviously are the same. It's Canadian. So we've had the CPI figures, which has rallied the CAD. So Aussie dollar CAD has dropped. You've just had a reversal alert on that one there. It's just coming back to retest. So you could be putting in a nice W pattern there. See if that retests or if it invalidates that and puts a new low. There's no bias on this, but it has just broken out of that range, and it's broken out of the 2-week low as well. So we are testing the monthly low. So again, that's a pretty good looking long at 125 ADR. So we've hit that support, broken it. We've broken obviously that support this morning. That's your next stop. So if it does break through that level, it'll probably get a little flush out, which means that that entire move there has had no profit take, so it'll pull back. So that looks like a good looking long. Be better if it got more extended though, down to 125 ADR or a little bit lower. Aussie US. So got first long on this one on the H1M5 mean reversion. So this has already taken a trade. It's invalidated, it's pushed back down, and it still looks like it's dropping. So we're getting some strength coming through on the back of that Canadian news. So there's an ADR reversal there. You won't have had, yes, you will have had an alert. Where did we hit it? There. So yeah, you had the initial reversal alert there. So the H1 RSI extension was up here. The ADR extension entry was there. And it looks like that's just about to invalidate that low. It's double bottomed to the pip look. So you're probably just about to get a new reversal alert, which will then trigger off that candle there when we invalidate that low. So that will be your entry, which is pretty much where the H1M5 mean reversion entry was. Aussie US, that's Euro US, is also extended. To the downside, same thing. So reversal alert, I'm already in this one long. H1M5 mean reversion entry is there. That one's been invalidated, so you got another reversal alert coming off of ADR. Pound US dollar. Entry on that one already. So that was the H1M5 mean reversion, and that's hit 125, just shy of it. Your reversal alert on that one's already triggered. That's the entry. Crikey, look at that spread I had there. Big old spread on that. So in long already on that one. Target is going to be just shy of that support in that propulsion gap. So that's my upside target. And US dollar CAD. That one's already played out. Didn't quite get down to my target. My target is back down at ADR. I think this has probably still got legs on this Canadian dollar. However, this US dollar is really rallying at the moment. These indices must be coming down. Yeah. Okay, hedged on all three today. I'll have a look at those in a sec. Yeah, US dollar is rallying like crazy at the minute. So's the Swiss franc. Everything's coming down against the US, but the Swiss and the yen are powering up, which is pretty indicative of a safe haven run. Got to be a little bit careful at the moment because obviously what's going on in the Middle East. So the US dollar's rallying, the Swiss franc is rallying, and the yen. Oh, let's pick a pair that hasn't got the Swiss or the CAD in it, is also rallying. So the safe haven runs are Swiss, US, and yen. All three of those are powering up at the moment. So if we do get any escalation in the Middle East, we're going to find a big run on those. A bit worrying, but so yeah, that's where that movement's coming from. So I'm not going to bank anything today. RSI extensions, pretty much the same as we looked at this morning, and also the ADRs. So Aussie dollar US is an H1 RSI extension. Already had the entry on that one, so it's nicely extended below the 25. So I'm already in one, looking for a push back on that move there. First entry. Euro US dollar, first entry on that one as well. Again, looking for a push back into propulsion. Obviously, if it drops, we'll scale in, target a new propulsion gap. Usual stuff. And US dollar Swiss also extended to the upside. So first short on that one. Target will be that propulsion there. How much is that? 60. So yeah, going to target that propulsion gap to the downside. So those are your hourly RSI extensions. These are all extended on the 4 hour as well. So it's the same thing. We've added an extension on the 4 hour. So these are the same trades basically. You can see there. The other 4 hour RSI extensions we've got are the US dollar yen. So that is nicely extended on the 4. So if you're trading H4M15 or H4M5, you've got an entry signal there to go short. Same as that one there and that one there. Yeah. Short back down into propulsion. US dollar Swiss is extended above the 75 level, so that's even more extended. US dollar Swiss is tricky. So this is obviously in a big downtrend at the moment. It's been very, very heavily hit, the US. We've had some good strength coming into the Swissy as well. So this is the first pullback into the 24.72 zone, which is where we continue in trends. So we should get a nice bounce out of this. But whether or not that market reversal alert there and that structure break holds, we will have to wait and see whether that's going to continue long or whether this is just a pullback on that leg and we're going to go short. But nice looking short opportunity there. Yeah, that's potentially what you could be looking at. Next leg, putting in a new low somewhere down there. So that's really nicely extended. The other extensions you've got, which are not ADR hits today or hourly RSI extensions, are the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So that's nicely extended to the downside. That's been dropping for a long time now. All week that's been dropping, and towards the end of last week it started. So big drop here. Again, we're back down into the 24.72 area. So likely to try and get a push out of it, but can't really see any reason why there'd be sustained US dollar strength. So tricky entry. That is nicely extended. So if this initial extension doesn't work and you just kind of get a little flag and drop, you're looking for an entry there. And then there's loads of areas here you can see that we're likely to run into as potential supports. Yeah, so these are all fairly decent support areas. So entry there, if that doesn't work, somewhere around there. If that doesn't work, somewhere around there. By the time you get there, you'll be massively extended. So that's looking pretty good. New Zealand US and pound US is also extended on the 4 hour. That's only just got extended and it is already putting back, and it has also put in a higher low as well. So not sure, not a great entry that. So there are your extensions today, ADRs and RSIs. So I've taken a few additional positions today on the H1M5 mean reversion. So getting some nice exposure on. Finally, things are starting to move at last. ADR reversals, Aussie, New Zealand. So that's coming down nicely. So if we can get that continuation, I just want to see these lows break. If these lows can break, there's a good chance of hitting ADR and getting a target hit on this one today. So I get that banked. And then those three are just sitting in, just literally started. So we're waiting to see what happens with those. ADR extensions today that I will be taking. Obviously, there's only one at the moment because I'm taking the 125 ADR extensions, which is the only one at the moment is Euro CAD. So I will be getting into Euro CAD as well with ADR. Literally in 1 minute, I shall be taking along on EuroCAD. So just about to get into that one. Bear with me 1 sec. Why can't I click buttons today? Maybe not. We'll just watch this for 30 seconds. Just want to see if this gets on or not. So this is a pullback at the moment in the CAD. Just giving the euro a bit of time to breathe before it possibly starts a new leg down. So we'll just see if the buyers manage to get back through this level or not. $10 seconds. Feels like every trade I take is taking 2 to 3 weeks, even more. Yeah, it will do when it goes sideways. Oh my God, look, missed it. No reversal alert. So we're holding there at the moment. We'll see. So I'm not in it yet, but if this candle closes bullish and we put in a new high, I will be in that one long as well. And nothing exciting with the hedging at the moment. Bank 0.42 today, so see. Amy, hedged on everything? Well, at least one of your trades is going to work. Started the $300 a day plan on futures today. 335 bagged on NASDAQ. Good job. Gold, don't have gold. Don't trade gold. Right, let's deal with these hedges. So, S&P. Kind of like that where it is. However, we might get bought up here. So I'm going to leave target where it is. I'm just going to move up ever so slightly for two reasons. One, that level. If we rally down to there and we get a little bounce and that limits there fail, we'll get a flush. If we get a flush, the market will get exhausted and pull back from it. So if we can flush through, I'll get out the shorts. We're also going to hit limit triggers at potentially that low as well, which is this high. And that is also ADR. So that's a really good spot. There is the danger, obviously, that if we are going to drop today, we just drop down to here and the buyers basically buy this level up and we can't get through, in which case not going to get hit. So I'm going to watch price as we get down to this level a bit later on. Well, the rate this is going, probably in the next hour. Upside target, I'm just going to pull down within ADR. That's also a monthly high, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to pull down within that monthly high. So a little bit lower. The way the market's going at the moment, it's unlikely we're going to rally all the way up to there, isn't it? We're bearish, obviously, at the minute. So that's more likely to get hit. So there's targets within ADR and basically just within ADR, the downside. But I will monitor those. The Dow target to the downside is fine. We're not far away from getting there, which is this low. And obviously upside, I'll leave that where it is at the moment, which is these highs. But unlikely we're going to put in a 125 ADR move to the upside. More likely we're going to hit that bounce. So I'll be getting out at the lows. And the NASDAQ. Just going to move up a little bit within that propulsion gap. And upside target, I'm going to bring it down within yesterday's high. So we've got three obvious or four obvious resistances. We've got yesterday's high, previous day's high, last week's high, which is the same as the previous day's high. So this whole area there is resistance. It's this previous resistance here that we sold out of. So they're selling this level basically, which is 16,885. So get out there on a pullback. If it pushes down into that low, I'll attempt to get out there on a pullback as well. So yeah, not great today. Triple hedge. Nothing I can do with it. One of them days. And oil, Mumo. No, I have not got oil. I have not got gold. Sorry, not trading them. Not playing that game. Euro US dollar 125 ADR. I will be getting into that one as well. So on H1 M5, very close to triggering on that. So Euro US dollar, I'll be taking an entry on that. If we get a reversal alert today, obviously, if this just continues to slam down there and doesn't give us a reversal alert, any kind of pullback, I won't be getting in, but I'll be getting on the next reversal alert long. Aussie New Zealand. There we go. There's the entry on the Euro CAD just gone in. So there's the reversal alert. Literally a micro tick. Just. So yeah, in that one long. Looking to retest that high, assuming that this is forming sort of rollover. Look to get out back on a retest of those highs at the moment. There's no directional bias on this thing at the minute, so target the high. This thing's been flip-flopping around all day. I'm getting out of this Aussie New Zealand. Just want to bank something. It's just, I just hate the fact that we're in this range at the minute, and we're bang in the middle of this range, and we've all day we've literally just done this. Thing we've got to bear in mind is we've got tomorrow morning. No, it's Wednesday, isn't it? CPI tomorrow, isn't it? On Thursday morning, we've got the Australian dollar unemployment rate. So there is a chance that we are going to sit in rotation until we get that unemployment figure for the Aussie with the Aussie New Zealand. If that's the case, I'm just going to watch that P&L do that for 2 days. I'd rather just not watch it and put it in the bank. Get out. Because I doubt it's going to go anywhere until Thursday morning. And I'm going to be asleep then. And if it goes against me, I'll just be annoyed. So banking it. So out the Aussie New Zealand. Tiny bit of money, but it's money. There we go. So Euro US dollar ADR extension as well. So just going to watch these indices this afternoon and see where we go. Looking like they're pulling back up at the moment a little bit. Massive whipsaw look on the NASDAQ. So we are literally back to where we started. Half an hour in to the market. The entire last hour, we have literally gone nowhere. Total whipsaw. So all the highs liquidated. They haven't taken the lows, but everybody at the open is dead. This is why we're hedged. We're not dead. We are just in and we're waiting. See where he goes. That's all I've got this afternoon. So if anybody's got any other pairs to look at, let me know. Other than that, I've got nothing else really to cover this afternoon. We're just going to pull back up at the moment by the looks of things on the indices. Nice 3-bar reversal there out of that low look. So push down, pause, push back up. So these propulsion gaps, the initial move down, they've slammed straight through that. We're holding at the moment on the S&P. NASDAQ's really out of sync today with the others. A lot more movement, a lot more volatility. Equally no direction. So we'll see where we go. Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at or anything else specific? So nothing to bank today. The yen pairs. 1.5% drawdown on the yens at the moment. Getting a little extended away from ADR. Could do with getting another position on this today. 48, so what's that? 95. Gonna need the calculator for this one. 148. 111. So I'm going to need price kind of up at ADR basically today to get another position on, which will bring the average back up inside ADR. Yeah. Just no direction on this thing at the minute. It's literally, since we got into these yens, or since I got into these yens right at the beginning of the month, we've literally just flip-flopped for a week, made it a slightly higher high, flip-flopped. Now we're putting another higher high in. So the market structure is, you know, very clearly bullish, but very weak bull run at the minute. There's no strength in the US, but there's also no strength in the yen either. RSI extension, US dollar yen. Euro US dollar is also extended now as well, below the 75. Again, we were anyway, so that's why that initial entry went in this morning. Hedged, the purgatory of trading. And I'm not religious. Yeah. I'd rather be hedged than have taken 2 or 3 losses and be sitting on a massive loss. Just not able to get any direction so far today, but it's early days. So we've obviously had a bear run. So fingers crossed, this is just a pullback, a little profit take before we start the next leg down. And then next leg down, obviously, we'll be looking to get down into these areas to retest and see if we can get spike back up. We will see. Right, so yeah, loads of opportunities today on the RSIs, loads of opportunities on the ADRs as well. So there's lots to get into. It's early days. This is the first proper day of, as you can see, first proper day of movement we've had on a lot of stuff. So looks like the market is starting to wake up. Whether this is a move or not, we'll find out. But yeah, lots of risk on now, which is good. So I've got opportunities to make money finally now that stuff's moving. So we will see where we go tomorrow. All right. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time for Frankfurt. I'll be back for US in the afternoon. I'll post in Telegram anything that happens with these. At the moment, I'm just going to leave those targets in place and see where we go. I'm going to watch obvious highs and lows. So there's a high there. If we do decide to break up, there are highs, obviously, from yesterday, which are valid. Yesterday's highs on the NASDAQ is the same, but the Dow and the S&P, there are potential areas we might find some bearish price action kicking in. So I'm going to watch these levels. If we do get to those levels and it does decide to break long, then may well adjust and get out there. But I'll post in Telegram if I do. See where we go. All right. So have a good afternoon. If you are in the hedges, good luck. But don't get out just because you see a bear candle or a bull candle. Wait for us to get to a level that makes logical sense. So yeah, back tomorrow morning, same time. Anything you need, let me know in Telegram. Other than that, have a good afternoon, and I will see you guys tomorrow.